Hi, I'm Lisa Donahue, your host of Heart of the Matter, A Soulful Cure. The focus of this program is holistic health, creating the most optimal state of health of each and every one of us, mind, body, and spirit. And today, in getting to another Heart of the Matter, I'm very excited about our topic. We have the committee chairs for Wallingford Day, Heather Johnson, and Naomi Bombardi Wilson. And today we're going to talk about the annual event, something near and dear to my heart. I've lived here now over 25 years, and it's had various incarnations, and we're going to learn about what's in store for this year. So thank you, Heather and Naomi, for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You bet. So stay tuned. We're going to learn a little bit about Wallingford, maybe a tip or tool or something of that nature. And as time is an illusion indeed, the last time I was here doing this was almost a year and 7 months ago. Let's hit those questions. It's been a long time. So Naomi, why don't we start with you? I know that you are perhaps a transplant to the area. Can you give us a little bit of your background?
I am. I will be here 2 years in August. And I moved here from Connecticut, and before that, Brooklyn. I used to be in film production, and now I am a quilter, published and award-winning, and I am also working on my Master Gardener certification from UVM, and trying to get as involved as I can, in Wallingford and the community, and luckily stumbled upon Heather and the Wallingford Day Committee, so.
Well, there you go. Wonderful. How about you, Heather?
I am born and raised in Vermont. Rutland County, really. Wallingford, I grew up in, and I lived there until about 2005, then moved to Brandon, still in Rutland County, and then back to the southern part of Rutland County after that, and I've been there for 7 years now. I am a house cleaner, and I caregive for my grandmother.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good stuff. So let's get into it. What is Wallingford Day? Do you know when it started? And what are the activities that are slated for July 19th, which is when Wallingford Day is? And what time's the event going on? So what can you both tell me about this?
So I started last year with Wallingford Day with Maria, and basically I was told that it had been put on hold at one point briefly, during the pandemic and stuff like that, but then I met some other folks and they told me that it was going on in the 50s and 60s, and we got some wonderful images of big floats and things like that. And it was very different than what I had been involved in last year, which seemed a lot smaller. And then when Heather took over, we talked about making it bigger again. And that's what we plan on doing this year, with far more events, bouncy houses and things like that. And then hopefully we'll just keep growing it and getting it bigger from there on. But we have 4 bouncy houses, right?
Yep, 4.
And we have a electric car demonstration, and tons of food trucks, and then of course our famous fireworks, which are the Lawrence Kaminsky Honorable Fireworks Show that goes on every year, and it's pretty amazing.
It is.
I mean, I've seen a lot of fireworks shows, and this is one of my favorites.
So if people don't get their fill over the 4th of July, they turn up at the ball field on that evening of July 19th, and they'll have a lovely display to enjoy for sure. They can bring your blankets and chairs and whatever, maybe not a cruise liner, but whatever you want to sit on and really enjoy a nice display along with the food trucks that will be down there.
Yes, so it's Saturday, July 19th, and it starts at...
It's an all-day event. It goes from 9 o'clock in the morning until fireworks late at night.
So it probably ends around 10 or so.
Yeah. I remember, I know after we get done hosting what we do at our office, it's a good long day. And we've had some hot ones, and that takes its toll, but it also gives at the same time. So Heather, can anybody, thank you, Naomi, can anyone set up a table, or do you have to be an organizer? Because as I recall, there's like tag sales. They hit the ground running. People in town hit the ground running really early. Are they doing that again this year?
Yeah, tag sales are all around town. Wallingford Day really doesn't affiliate too much with the tag sales. We don't advertise it too much, other than just saying that there's tag sales. But I think there's going to be tag sales at the library this year too.
And so how can the community and the region help?
Luckily, we have had some very generous donors give, making it possible for us to have the fireworks and 2 bands and a DJ, and then of course the bouncy houses were also donated. Volunteers for sure. We could definitely use some volunteers around the bouncy houses just to make sure that kids are being safe and things like that. So if you want to volunteer, you can definitely reach out to me directly. My phone number is 646-996-8899, and I would love your help.
And also, if anyone wants to reach either of you through email or a phone number, if they didn't catch that one, they can always contact the station for that information. As I recall, I mean, the town is usually crawling with activities and people, and it's a really fun day to be out amongst your neighbors. And so I know we've always appreciated it and enjoyed our time. So why did you both join the committee? And what are some of the players over the years that have worked tirelessly on this event? I know I can speak to a few of those people: Jen Galusha, brothers, Maria French, Barbara Kaminsky, other former what we would call the Wallingford Merchants Association members, us being part of that through the Thrive Center and other places. But why'd you join the committee, and who are some of the players that are involved now?
I think Heather joined the committee because she is the unofficial mayor of Wallingford. She does so much for the community with different events, from your walks to just the Rotary and Wallingford Day. I mean, I don't even know how you find the time. I joined because I wanted to meet my fellow Wallingford residents and get to know people. Being a new person, it was a way to help out and meet new people, and I met some pretty awesome people.
And I originally joined Wallingford Day because I wanted to give back to the town I grew up in. And I remember Wallingford Day when I was young, and it was like a multi-day carnival is what it was.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it was really expansive.
It was, and it was absolutely wonderful. There was kids everywhere. They did the fireworks still back then, and it was so much fun, and I kind of want to see it come back to a carnival over time.
Wallingford's a great town. It has really good bones, a lot of wonderful people, pockets of groups that align sometimes on things and do their own thing. So it's really nice that you have the roots there, and it's always nice to have influences from other people as well who are not from the area. I always say I'm not from here, I'm of here. I grew up in Western New York, so Buffalo to be specific, north of Buffalo. So we bring our little spin to things as well, which is really nice. I always say the ideas are never a problem, it's just harnessing the good ones and maintaining them. And anything's easy to the person who doesn't do it or doesn't choose to do it. So good for both of you of being involved and the rest of us in the community that like to see positive things happening. So what makes Wallingford Day possible? What comes out of it? I'm thinking community building, rapport, small town, feeling the feels kind of thing. What else has come out of it that you've noticed?
You want to answer that?
That's a good question. I think it's also been a way for people to discover Wallingford. I did the bike parade last year, which sadly we're not going to have this year because I don't think it was as great as it could be, and we're going to work on it. So it's going to be really special next year, in part, I hope, of a larger parade. But I met a bunch of kids there that were not from Wallingford. They had grandparents that lived here, or uncles and things like that. And the compliments that we got on, like, this town is so pretty and everyone's so nice and this is so much fun. And I was like, that's great, that's wonderful. Spread the word, like tell other people, because it would be wonderful to have people who aren't from Wallingford to come and enjoy it, you know, and realize that it is a cool town. We've got a great little cafe, and we have a wonderful coffee shop, and now a new market, and you know, just beautiful architecture. It's just, it's really lovely.
It really is. When I first moved to the area to take up with a health promotion project back in 2000, so it'll be 26 years on November 1st that we have our office in Wallingford, I lived at the I.B. Munson House. And that is just a crown jewel in the community. And that's a tale for another day or not. But I recently rented it to host my family for my son's graduation, or our son's graduation from MSJ. And it was so special to be back there again. So, and that's how I felt. When I drove into Wallingford from Metro Atlanta, we lived there while my husband was in 4 of his 8 years of school. I just kind of dipped in, and I was like, oh, I like the vibe here. It feels good. I remember going by the cemetery and just having this whole feeling with all the architecture like you're talking about, and thinking it was pretty special.
It might be one of the most beautiful cemeteries I've ever seen, actually.
It is the rolling hills, the nature of it, and also the homes that are, there's a lot of, like you said, really nice architecture there. If you're just joining us, I'm Lisa Donahue, your host of Heart of the Matter, and I'm talking with Naomi Bombardi-Wilson and Heather Johnson about Wallingford Day. So what kind of safety can people rely on that are coming? And we can also talk to the sponsors as well. And I always say that I've done this show since 2001. It's in a community service as well as disservice, depending on how you look at it. But you know, when I ask about safety, the reason being, it seems like ever since the pandemic, gathering people is a little different. It has maybe a different twist or a different feel to it. At least that's been my experience. I think a lot more has gotten back to what we normalized before. But what can people count on, you know, as far as safety, you know, given that there's going to be fireworks and things like that?
There will be a cop at the rec field from 2 until 10 o'clock when everything moves down to the rec field at 2. And there will also be rescue squad down there. And if need be, a fire truck can get down there if they need to be.
Okay, good. It's good to know. You know, anything can happen. Yeah?
Yeah. And we're, you know, plenty of water for people to drink as well, especially if it's going to be a hot one.
Plenty of water, and there's a safety line where nobody can pass for when the fireworks are happening. So that'll be all caution taped off too.
And come to think of that, I should share some of the pictures from last year's fireworks that were really incredible. Make sure I don't forget to send you those because it'll be a good thing to have. How often does the committee meet up, and for how long? And would you welcome new members? And how are the committee meetings advertised?
So it's advertised just at the town hall and the post office by the agenda that I put out. And we do meetings once a month from August to May, and then after May to July for the Wallingford Day, we meet more often, like every other week or every week once we get really close.
Okay.
And it's about an hour long.
I see. Can you share with me who some of the other members are, and then Naomi, maybe you can update us on the current sponsors?
Yeah. Other members of the committee are Michael Luzader, Todd Galliano, Monica, I've forgotten her last name. Delorme. And Barbara Boucher.
Bushy. Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's okay.
If I'm not pronouncing. I'm still new here.
Yes.
Am I missing anybody?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So I'm going to have to read this off the list, though, so that I don't forget anybody. But we have Galliano Construction, the Friends of the Gilbert Hart Library, A1 Sewer, Aldous Funeral Home, Barbara Kaminsky, of course, Bill Lowson Plumbing and Heating, Green Mountain Power, Mike Ham's Trucking, the Thrift Shop at Wallingford, the Wallingford Village Market, and the Vermont Country Store. So thanks to all of them for their super generous donations and really helping us out.
And where does other monies come from to do an event like this? Is it linked in any way to the town, maybe to the recreation committee? How does it work?
Yeah, we have a small amount underneath. We're technically under the rec committee, so it's my understanding that they get a certain budget and then we get a little cut of that budget.
And the other thing that I can acknowledge, and I do want to get some of your walking dates from Come Alive Outside. I don't want to forget to mention those because you're our local ambassador. Back when I moved here in 2000, I used to lead walks in Wallingford as part of the Worksite Wellness Initiative here in Rutland County. And that was great fun. And I met at the same place at the library. So at the library, there is a silent auction to benefit the Wallingford Standard newsletter, which also culminates on July 19th. So you can check out all of the things that are being silently auctioned there. And the newsletter, incidentally, is mailed freely to all Wallingford residents, and it's a great source of information for things like Wallingford Day. So one of the things I was also going to ask, how is this event advertised, more widely? What are some of the places that people can look for information?
So it's advertised on Facebook and Instagram and on Front Porch Forum, and around town there will be flyers put out for it. Other than that, I don't think we have too much other advertising.
It's just in the Standard mostly.
Okay. All right, well, if I can team up and help with any press release addresses, let me know. Be happy to do that. And now I wanted to talk, since it's already 10 minutes to go before we conclude here. What are some of the future ideas that you all have, which I can see you're like smiling and head bobbling, so things are very exciting, I'm sure. In the past, of course, and not so in the past, Wallingford, of course, is the place to be for Halloween. We are becoming legendary with Halloween. No offense, Pittsford. I know you do your haunted house, which is amazing. I've been to it once, and that amazing mobile that goes with it, the old Ambi. And in the past, I don't know if you've ever attended any of the Christmas strolls that we've done over the years. Then Wallingford, did you attend them? We did 3 of them.
Not.
Kind of our group, which we called the WMA, the Wallingford Merchants Association. They were splendid. Everyone loves to come to a Christmas stroll, and then we could add to that like a cookie exchange. So you would get a cookie and a container and go to the next house. So I can attest to that. And also, I've been thinking it'd be fun to do a garden tour because we have so many great gardeners. And of course, the garden tour in Mount Holly is exceptional. So we'd have to make sure it was on a time and day different than theirs to honor what they've been doing for years. And sometimes it's good to skip a year maybe on events to keep it fresh. So what are you thinking for your future this and that?
I think we're going to have to get together and recreate all these committees as well. I love this Christmas stroll. I love the garden idea.
We've never hosted a garden tour that I'm aware of in Wallingford. But I think it'd be a great thing to do, maybe alternate events.
As a gardener, I'm come to my house.
Yeah, exactly.
I have big dreams to bring back what I've heard Wallingford Day was. I saw pictures that one of our residents, Guinevere Crum, love that name. Isn't that a wonderful name?
Her name, it sounds like it could be in that Clue game.
Or a Harry Potter movie.
It's a great name.
So wonderful.
I agree.
Anyway, so Guinevere was actually the first person in Wallingford to welcome me and did a garden tour actually in her neighborhood. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
But she showed me pictures that her family had shared with her from I guess the 50s and 60s, and they had floats. People created log cabins on their car, and it was a big contest, whoever could create the best log cabin, right? So that was that theme that year, I guess. And people on horseback. There was even, bands with the band leader, because our Memorial Day parade, although short, is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I would love to do something like that with a float theme every year, and it's where it would change. And then also there was the classic cars and the muscle cars that we wanted to pull in last year. And if we could have them driving down the street too, like a full-on, parade down Main Street. And I know that Heather was talking about when she was a kid, they had, was it Depot Street? What street was closed?
It was Depot Street.
And, vendors and stuff all in basically one place, kind of like, the Ludlow Farmers Market has that road closed off.
Sure.
And so you can,
Yeah.
it's definitely safer as well for people. And then all the vendors are in one place and you can hit everything up and get a real, that great carnival atmosphere.
I think that's fabulous, and there are a number of farmers in the area that I'm sure would love to come and have a little stand. And I'm thinking about our amazing art show in Buffalo, New York. That's one of the biggest events of the year. And it'd be fun to see that too, to have artisans come. And there are so many, whether it's art in the park or all the numerous things that people attend in Vermont. But I think it's entirely possible. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So that would be fun to do. What are your thoughts, Heather? Do you have any other thoughts and ideas?
Well, recently, last year, I started the Holiday Lights Christmas contest. And so that was exciting. We had quite a few people sign up for that. And also the Halloween decorating contest is amazing.
It's huge.
It's going to keep happening because I am one of the people in charge of it now.
I told you, Heather, it runs every committee that there is.
And so I'm looking forward to expanding that. And to add on to what Naomi had said about the whole carnival, it was Depot Street and Railroad Street all in front of like the fire department that's in Wallingford. And it was just booth after booth after booth of just carnival things and dunk tanks and everything. And then
And come to think of it, Naomi, given your quilting background, from what I understand from Eileen Shannon, who's involved with the Wallingford Thrift, there was like a craft and artisan show. And I remember her talking about quilts, and it was actually in the gym of the Wallingford Elementary School. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much potential.
there it is.
It really is. And I know we always keep tabs on how much candy we give out at Halloween. This last year it was easily 350 pieces. So that's one of our, and we do the annual pumpkin pageant where people vote before they get their candy. And we've been doing that over 30 years before we moved here to add to our, the years that we've been here. Is there anything else that you want to mention about the event coming up?
There's one different thing. The music, instead of being in the center of town, it's going to be down at the rec field this year. Okay. Starting at 2, there will be Phil Henry, and then at 4 is a band named Honey. And then the DJ will finish out the night at 6 till fireworks.
All right. Well, I'm excited for the event and how it's going to turn out for all of you. And before we wrap up, the Wallingford walks that you do through Come Alive Outside, and all the great work that Arwen Turner does. So tell me about your schedule and where can people meet you? I think there's one tonight.
There is one
June
tonight.
26th at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So people can meet me in front of the Gilbert Hart Library, and the walks are normally only about 20 to 30 minutes, and I work it around my own schedule, my very busy schedule, as people have said, that I alternate from morning one week to evening in the next week. So my schedule for July, I can tell you, is July 3rd is at 6 p.m., July 8th is 10 a.m., July 17th is 6 p.m., and July 28th is 10 a.m.
So they can just meet up
and you can just meet me in front of the Gilbert Hart Library and we'll go for a walk.
Simple as that. So I know that you like to walk when I ask people about their health and wellness endeavors. So what do you like to do for your own health and wellness endeavors, Naomi? Could be your quilting, it could be whatever.
Yeah,
gardening.
I wish I had more time for quilting, but it has been gardening during the warmer months.
The warmer months. Oh, this is great. Well, I'm encouraged hearing what I am, and I know, again, Wallingford Day has gone through a lot of incarnations. It's nice that it has a history, and it just takes people with a little, motivation and inspiration to continue making things all that they can be. So I really appreciate the both of you coming on the show today and also volunteering all of your time to make this event as special as we can for this year, 2025. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for giving us a platform to get the message out. And
it's all worthwhile. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm your host, Lisa Donahue, for Heart of the Matter. And I have just a minute here to share a quote or two, like I often like to. Here's a good one from Eleanor Roosevelt. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. That's a good one. And this is another one that was really good from Mary Powell. She was the one CEO of Green Mountain Power, to wear life like a loose garment. I like that, especially nowadays. So till next time, put your heart in everything you do.